Hey everybody, this is Marcus. I have some exciting news. Hugh Jackman is not going to be done playing Wolverine after Deadpool 3. This is awesome news because I've always been a lifelong fan of Hugh Jackman, and not only is he an incredible Broadway singer, but he does an excellent job of bringing out the hard edge, hard exterior of James Logan Howlett, a.k.a. Wolverine. He's been doing a great job ever since the first X-Men film that came out in 2000, and I'm definitely looking forward to him reprising his role as Logan in Deadpool 3 when he teams up with Wade Wilson himself. So it's definitely going to be awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to the future of where the character is going to go, because it looks like he might be able to participate in Secret Wars as well. And honestly, if they do get a new actor eventually to play Wolverine, he's going to have some heavy shoes to fill, because I can't think of anybody that can play Wolverine as well as Hugh Jackman can. And that's my opinion though, but honestly, and I know that everybody else will agree too, I can't think of anybody else that can play Wolverine as awesome as Hugh Jackman can though. So I mean, more than likely, especially with everything that's been promised so far though, you guys, it looks like he's going to pretty much stay in the MCU for a while and participate in Secret Wars for sure though. So, but I'll get into all this and more, plus the massive plot details. But before I get started, thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot to me, and you guys mean so much to me. And I hope you guys had a safe Christmas, a happy holidays. I'm looking forward to smashing 2023 with you guys. So for those who are new to my channel, can you do me a solid? Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications whenever I drop a video. And we're going to always keep this thing rolling, you guys. Your feedback means so much to me, and reading you guys' comments helps out a lot too. Someone told me that I was underrated, and that actually got me in the feels, man, because I must be doing something right for you guys to react to my responses and to my opinions. So thank y'all so much for everything. Even with the subscriber count growing up so far, I must be doing something awesome, man. So, but again, you guys' feedback means so much to me. And I am going to talk about the future and the directions of my channel, where I'm going to go in the future as well. So you guys make sure you stay tuned for that as well, you guys. So thank y'all so much for everything. I love doing this. I mean, I have experience with interning at my local TV station, WVUA TV. Shout out to you guys when I was in college. And I just love doing these reactions, you guys, and reporting to you guys the facts and the news and speaking to you guys. I love speaking in front of an audience. I'm not a shy person at all though, but I do love to learn and to take constructive criticism from other people. So I do love to learn and grow. But other than that, I love doing this, you guys. So, but anyway, I digress. We're going to go and check out the Cosmic Wonder, a.k.a. Warren Thompson, because he was talking about the exact same thing, including the massive plot details. So without further ado, let's do this, you guys.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have some more news about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in Deadpool 3.
I love the scene with Hugh and Ryan, man.
In the film, how they're going to act towards each other, but also a little bit of information about if Hugh Jackman is going to stick around as Wolverine even after Deadpool 3 is done.
He did have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure,
I love this
A lot of
scene.
fans have been hoping that Wolverine would stick around for
Let's get hyped for that
Secret
scene.
Wars. Even if Deadpool 3 does not result in Wolverine sticking around in the MCU, there is always the possibility that while all the incursions happen and everything that's going on in Avengers Secret Wars happens, he could be brought back into the MCU and help fight in the final battle against Kang. Or perhaps another mysterious villain that could possibly show up, maybe even Doctor Doom. But for now, we're thinking the big bad is a variant of Kang the Conqueror. But our question today is, will Wolverine be around to fight him? Well, luckily luckily for us, we have some information coming directly from Hugh Jackman himself in a recent interview. So we'll dive into that today, but first, big reminder, we still have a week left of our giveaway, and next year we're going to kick off some new giveaways as well. This week,
Marvel Legends series, that's my favorite though.
Item to enter, all you gotta do is subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below. Let us know in this video what you think the relationship will be like between Deadpool and Wolverine. How would you like to see it? So obviously everybody is just super ecstatic that Wolverine is returning. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine specifically is returning. Of course, we're going to be getting a new Wolverine in the future, but not before Hugh Jackman returns.
Being carried by Wolverine
is really fantastic, and a lot of fans are super excited about. But a big question that a lot of fans have had is this going to be a one and done for Hugh Jackman? Is he simply returning for one movie, Deadpool 3, and then he's done, or could he possibly stick around in the MCU for a little bit longer? Well, Hugh Jackman recently spoke up about this while he was doing an interview with the Empire Film Podcast. Now, just for a little bit of backstory, before Hugh Jackman, after Logan, and incoming spoiler alert for Logan if you haven't seen it yet, but after
Logan's a great film too.
The death of Wolverine and the death of Professor Xavier, both Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart said that they were done with their characters once and for all. That was their final goodbye, and that no matter what happened, they wouldn't want to undo it. However, new opportunities have arisen thanks to the multiverse. Patrick Stewart did return as Professor Xavier in Multiverse of Madness. However, this was a variant of Professor Xavier, so it was not the same one from Logan. They did not undo his death, so his goodbye to that character was still somewhat the final goodbye. And the same goes for Logan/Wolverine and Hugh Jackman. This will be a different variant of Wolverine. In fact, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have already confirmed that they're not going to touch the death of Logan. They're not going to undo that at all. And this is actually important because this means that whatever variant we are getting of Wolverine, he can stick around because he doesn't have to return to an old timeline to die. If it is the same Wolverine from the same exact timeline, and they didn't want to change anything, ultimately he would have to return to that timeline to eventually go on to die. However, Hugh Jackman has already stated in a recent interview, this Wolverine we're going to see is from a different timeline. Therefore, he does not have to go back. He can stay inside of the MCU. But will he?
We covered this before too.
In the Empire Film Podcast interview, he was asked if he was already thinking about his return to the character for the new movie with Ryan Reynolds as a one-and-done movie, or if it was the start of a new chapter as Wolverine. And here's what he said in the interview. I imagine every movie as a one-and-done. That's how I see it. And I'll be honest, I had a 2-picture deal at the beginning, but I still assumed it was a one-and-done. You know, back then, there were no comic book movies, so I just take it one at a time. I'm lucky that way. I don't have to think beyond that, but I think it's the best way to go. Now, the whole 2-picture deal in the beginning, I think he is referring to the very first X-Men film when he was cast as Wolverine for the first time. However, there is still the possibility that he could be talking about a second appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I won't speculate too much about this, but I would be surprised if he was simply one and done with this movie. And I'll explain more about why I think that in just a bit, but let's finish this interview first. He went on to offer some more details about the movie, speaking about the relationship between Wolverine and Deadpool that will happen in the movie, and he said, how do I categorize it? 10 being really close, 0 being the reality. We're 0. We're opposites. Hate each other. I'm just talking from my perspective. Logan's frustrated by him, wants to be a million miles away from him, or wants to punch him in the head. Unfortunately, he can't be a million miles away from him in this movie, so I'm probably going to punch him in the head a lot. So there you have it, some pretty decent details about Wolverine and Deadpool, specifically about...
Yeah, because that's how the relationship is like in the comics, though, because they're always insulting each other. Wolverine will practically stab Deadpool. Deadpool will pull himself together and then will attack Logan, and then Logan will end up healing himself. So it's like, it's basically Three Stooges on the Marvel scale, though. So that's pretty much what it is. The difference is you only have 2 people instead of the 3. So you basically have the Moe and the Larry without the Curly. So
up their relationship in Deadpool 3. Now, Ryan Reynolds has already spilled some of the beans telling us that Deadpool 3 is kind of going to be a road trip between 2 best friends, talking about Wolverine and Deadpool, but he also said that it was going to be Rashomon style. So to me, things are becoming a little bit more clear based off of what Hugh Jackman said and Ryan Reynolds has said, because the movie Rashomon is about the death of a samurai, and they go through many different people's perspectives in which they all remember it a little bit differently. They remember remember what happened differently. So as we can already see here, it looks like Wolverine can't get away from Deadpool for whatever reason, possibly because they are both running from the TVA, or perhaps something Deadpool did that makes it to where Wolverine has to stick with him. But
I never seen Rashomon either, and it's a classic film, so I have to definitely check it out. It might be on YouTube, so I'll definitely have to look into it and see, but I'll definitely sit down and watch it myself though. But it's a great comparison considering the fact that Wolverine does have some samurai ties anyway, because he did go to Japan and actually married Mariko Yashida, who's actually the sister of Sunfire. So that's kind of like a really good comparison, considering the fact that Wolverine, of course, does have some samurai ties, and then he actually fought against the Silver Samurai himself, though. So it definitely makes some sense. So I like the comparison, though. But then I'm definitely gonna check out the movie myself, though. So
they're both kind of taking a car trip together, probably to other universes, and Wolverine can't stand Deadpool. However, Deadpool,
Right?
being as sarcastic as he is, probably sees it differently than Wolverine sees it. Deadpool's probably having the time of his life because he's with his good old pal Wolverine, while at the same time, Wolverine kind of hates the whole entire situation because Deadpool is, well, Deadpool. Plus, not to mention, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have already teased that they're going to be fighting each other, and it looks like they're going to be fighting each other quite a bit. And honestly, since Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are indeed best friends in real life, we know that no matter what they're doing, the chemistry is going to be there. Whether they love each other as characters or hate each other as characters, it's all going to be absolutely fantastic. And that leads me to believe that Hugh Jackman won't be one and done. If he did sign a 2-movie contract, I am assuming that the next movie is either going to be Deadpool 4 or Secret Wars. And considering how Deadpool 3 is coming right before Secret Wars, I would assume Wolverine is coming in Secret Wars, because why wouldn't he? If all of these different variants from these other universes are coming, why wouldn't Wolverine be there as well?
Right.
Specifically, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. It wouldn't really make sense to wait till Deadpool 4, because that's going to come years after Secret Wars. However, even if Hugh Jackman only signed a 1-movie deal, a one-and-done deal, he says that all of his movies are like this, or that's at least how he perceives them, which means that even if he is just doing a one-and-done deal, he is open to coming back for another movie, and I'm actually going to assume he will be coming back for another movie, because I think him and Ryan Reynolds are going to have just a ton of fun filming Deadpool 3 together. And Hugh Jackman has stated that one thing he regrets is not being able to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and interact with these other characters. That is now a reality to him, and Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have already stated that it wasn't Ryan who convinced Hugh to come back. Hugh came back on his own because he wanted to. So since Hugh Jackman came back to playing Wolverine on his own, and since he now has the opportunity to play in that big MCU sandbox, and he's doing a movie with one of his best friends, I'm assuming he's going to have the time of his life, and he'll want to return for another movie to play Wolverine. But that is just my thought process. What do you all think about this as well? Do you think he's going to be one and done, or do you think he'll stick around in the MCU for at least Secret Wars and maybe even more, maybe Deadpool 4? Let us know your thoughts down below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest news. For live updates, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
And then that's the thing too, because I mentioned this before as well, but the cast members from the previous X-Men films have all stated that they actually wish that they were in the MCU. And we could definitely be getting that in the future, especially with Secret Wars around the corner. We could definitely have that fruition to come to pass as well. And Hugh Jackman, I know they're all friends too, especially in Hollywood, that Hugh Jackman is friends with Robert Downey Jr. and the rest of the cast who are in the MCU for sure. But the thing is that he even wished that he had interacted with Tony Stark or anyone else in the MCU. Like if the X-Men had been bought like 20 years ago by Disney, they would have already been the MCU already. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been in 2008 where Iron Man first appeared in the MCU. I like to think that they were bought previously. If the Fox deal took place 20 years ago and 20 basically, technically, because it's 2022 now. 2023 is around the corner, and then of course it'll make about a good 21, 22 years basically. So basically, if it wasn't for that particular ordeal, like if Disney had bought Fox 22 years ago, we would have already had the X-Men in the MCU. And I've already mentioned this before many times as well though, but like I said, this is definitely a good opportunity to practically bring in Hugh Jackman and the rest of the X-Men in the MCU. I think this would be a great opportunity for them. And like I said, I don't really see them at least recasting Wolverine, because like I just said, it's going to be some really big shoes to fill if that actually does happen. The fact that if Wolverine is recasted by another actor, has some big shoes to fill though. But like I said, Hugh Jackman, it's always one and done with him. He even mentioned this many times in his previous interviews of playing Wolverine. It's always one and done. He's never really talked about, like, you know, everything else of what he's going to do in the future. So obviously, he wants to be in the MCU. And he's definitely getting his wish too, that he wants Wolverine to be in the MCU. And he actually, like he just said, expressed a regret not being in the MCU before. But of course, business deals. Fox had the rights to Marvel at the time. Well, Fox had the rights to the X-Men at the time. And so Disney didn't get the rights to Marvel not until in 2008, which is the reason why we have the first Iron Man film. And like I just said, if Disney had bought Fox 22 years ago, the X-Men would have been the first one. The X-Men and the Fantastic Four would have been the first two teams, the first two priority teams to be in the X-Men. So, or to be in the MCU for sure, though. So they definitely would have been the first priority teams to be in the MCU, though. But at least they're in now, and things happen for a reason, you know. So at least now they have a chance to get in, and with Secret Wars being built up to where it is, I think it's definitely going to be epic. It's been said that Marvel Secret Wars is going to be pretty epic as well, though. And more than likely, I like to think that they're going to stick with Jonathan Hickman's storyline of Secret Wars. I don't really see them focusing on the Beyonder that much. If the Beyonder is involved, he'll definitely be involved in some form of capacity. But considering that the whole film is going to be centered around Kane, it's definitely going to be centered around John Hickman instead of Jim Shooter's Beyonder. So, and don't get me wrong, I would love to see the Beyonder in the MCU. And that's been talked about a lot too, but I'll discuss that in my future videos as well, to talk about the Beyonder's presence and stuff like that. I'll discuss that and more. But to talk about Wolverine again, I definitely want to see, like, Wolverine pretty much go in. And then on top of that, we just saw Madripoor in the Falcon and Winter Soldier too. So more than likely we could see Wolverine going there if he has his own adventures or not, though. So, but having Deadpool and Wolverine running from the TVAs, that definitely would make sense, though. And then more than likely there's going to be a lot of fourth wall breaking as well, though. So it's definitely going to be awesome to see, though. And on top of that, Loki Season 2 will pretty much be done by the time Deadpool 3 wraps up. So more than likely, we'll definitely see him. And Mobius. Mobius is supposed to be involved as well. So Owen Wilson's going to reprise his role as well. There's been talks about him coming back for Deadpool 3, though. So, but like I said, they're all pretty much tying in together. And so the TVAs will more than likely will be involved. And then the road trip between Wolverine and Deadpool is going to be so hilarious as well, though. But yeah, Rashomon the movie, I'm definitely going to check that out because I've never seen it before. But like I said, there's been some samurai ties in Wolverine as well, though. So it's a great comparison considering the fact that Wolverine married Mariko Yashida, became a samurai himself, even feuded with the Silver Samurai himself in the comics as well. Not to mention that he actually feuded with the Hand, who actually was led by Matsuo Tsuburaya in the comics. So it definitely makes some sense to pretty much bring that. Speaking of the Hand's supposed to be in the next Ironheart series as well on Disney Plus, though. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing Wolverine in Deadpool 3, especially in the future projects that Hugh Jackman's going to do. He's awesome. Hugh, you see this video? Shout out to you, my brother. You're incredible. You're the man. So definitely can't wait. But you guys, thank y'all so much for everything. You guys mean a lot to me. And again, I'm going to talk about my next direction for 2023 and beyond. So you guys stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I love y'all so much. Spread love to each other. Do good together. I love y'all. Excelsior. I'll catch you guys in the next one.